Welcome to this video about research approaches in the field of technology-enhanced learning. This video was made by Sandra Schön and Martin Ebner. This video is made available under an open license. Please have a look into the license description if you want to modify or reuse the video. You can do that as well under commercial purposes if you want to. So let's say hello to Amira. Hi, Amira. This is really a good question. What is research? It's up to your discipline what research means to you. And hey, there are a lot of disciplines in the world. And I want to dive into the research in the field of technology-enhanced learning. Technology-enhanced learning is an interdisciplinary field. It's about learning. So disciplines dealing with that topic are educational psychology, educational science, didactics, pedagogy. And of course, it's about technologies as well. So engineering in general or informatics, computer science or media science are relevant disciplines. And this interdisciplinarity is a real challenge. Because of this diverse science in the background, there are a lot of different understandings of research and methods you can apply in the field of technology-enhanced learning. So generally, we identified 3 different research approaches in the field of technology-enhanced learning. Of course, I will give you more information about that. The first approach is the traditional approach. A research project with this approach will first justify the selection of a particular theory, derive hypotheses from it, present and implement a research design, and finally present results using, for example, inferential statistical methods. This research results in a confirmation or falsification of a theory. Yes, I will. But first of all, I would like to invite you to do an experiment. Please open this link to a video and make the assignment. Enjoy! Therefore, I like to introduce you to the phenomenon of unintentional blindness. Do you see this long row of people standing? I guess you will try to find out where the end of the queue is. By doing this, you could completely overlook your friend who is waving at you fiercely. The following sentence is a citation of Simons and Chabris. They wrote in a scientific paper, "We have all had the embarrassing experience of failing to notice when a friend or colleague shaves off a bird, gets a haircut, or starts wearing contact lenses." This phenomenon is called inattentional blindness. According to the state of the art of research in 1979, it is more difficult to discover the yellow heart in the yellow flowers than the blue rabbit between the pink tulips. The idea was that a similarity between the observed situation and an unexpected object makes it harder to detect the unexpected object. In the well-known experiment, the researchers Simons and Chabris investigated whether this is correct. They made a short video for this purpose. If you did the experiment, you have already seen that. In the video, 3 people in a white t-shirt and 3 people in a black t-shirt play with a ball. The participants in the experiment are asked to count how often the ball is passed in a team. In the middle of the video, a gorilla runs through the scene. Most participants in the experiment do not see the gorilla. However, those who have counted the passes of the team dressed in black will notice the gorilla more often as the people who counted the white dress team. Simons and Chabris have thus disproved the thesis of 1979. According to their experiment, the more things deviate from what is expected, the more often they are overlooked. Due to copyright reasons, I couldn't show you the original video, but you can find that online. So this was my example for a typical research in the sense of the first approach. So the more or less traditional research approach, testing a theory. Thanks, Amira. So what is a theory? So a theory can be defined as a unit of knowledge in which facts and model conceptions are processed into a whole. If your background is educational science, I guess you might know the theory of operant conditioning. Wikipedia explains it as follows. Operant conditioning, also called instrumental conditioning, is a type of associative learning process through which the strength of a behavior is modified by reinforcement or punishment. It is also a procedure that is used to bring about such learning. If you ever had trained animals before, you know that this theory is helpful for learning. But it is only a theory, that means an explanation of how learning, especially learning by humans, could work. So let's go on with the second approach in technology-enhanced learning. We call it explorative research. The second research approach does not start with an existing theory, but it aims to develop hypothesis theories and recommendations for action. Typically, such explorative or exploratory procedures are used when a research question is at stake or when there are source materials for which there are few existing theoretical assumptions. Here the attempt is typically made to collect data on a rather broad basis, for example in case study comparison by collecting as many source materials as possible. The evaluation of the data leads to assumptions and heuristics. Here is an example for the second approach. The Graz University of Technologies hosts a platform for MOOCs. MOOCs are massive open online courses. So these courses are video-based and made for hundreds of learners. To get a certificate, learners have to be successful on multiple choice tests after each unit. There is as well a discussion forum where learners can communicate with each other. In the case of this specific platform, all courses are for free and all materials are open licensed. Two researchers at the university, Mohamed Khalil and Martin Ebner, wanted to know what types of learners can be found in massive open online courses concerning their engagement. So they collected data about the learners. They collected reading frequencies, writing frequencies, the videos watched, and quiz attempts. Then they took the data and made a so-called cluster analysis. With this approach, different patterns of user behavior or activities can be identified. So these two researchers, Khalil and Ebner, found 4 types of MOOC learners. They found at first perfect students who did everything, watched videos, made quizzes, were communicative. The second group just made more or less the quizzes to be successful at the course. The third group were dropouts. And the last but very small group were social people, only going more or less into the discussion forum to discuss and communicate with others. To sum up, the researchers did exploratory research. First, they collected data, then they made an analysis, in that case a cluster analysis, and then they developed hypotheses. So other researchers might show now if these 4 patterns are right. So the third approach is the so-called design-based research approach. Educational science and applied computer science are strongly application-oriented sciences that often deal with concrete practical challenges of technology-enhanced teaching and learning. Researchers thus played for a research approach based on design development to help shape innovations. A typical contribution with this research approach documents these developments based on the description of practical challenges. The result, that means a new didactic or technical concept and its application, is also formatively reviewed, that means already during development, and or finally evaluated. So contrary to everyday professional activities, these research activities have new challenges and use new approaches and do not correspond to standard situation, so they require more detailed research and documentation. An example of this third research approach is the design of a new lesson about the circle for fifth graders. The challenge was here to develop and evaluate an open and new technology-based design. So the researcher read and evaluated and analyzed a lot of literature, for example about seamless learning, open learning, or learning videos in mathematics. The researcher developed a new concept, for example a room plan, instructions, several videos, all around the idea of giving more space to learners to explore the circle. The researcher documented a lot of behavior and activities of the kids. He, for example, documented how many videos they used and how far they got in the daily tests. He as well asked the pupils and other teachers how they liked the design and the concept of his lessons. So, and as everything is documented, you can find that research in literature. That was my example for the third and last research approach in technology-enhanced learning. To sum up, I introduced and I give examples of 3 different research approaches. We started with the traditional approach of hypothesis testing, we went on with explorative research, and we ended with design-based research. If you want to read more about that, you're welcome. Goodbye, Amira.